The New England Patriots are officially back in pads and the Mike Vrabel era is off and running in Foxborough. Day one of padded practice in the 2025 season brought with it plenty of excitement, a few concerns, and a major headline that no Patriots fan wanted to see. We're talking about a significant injury scare involving one of the most important defensive players on this roster and the ripple effects it could cause heading into Friday's intra-squad scrimmage. But that's not all. We got a real glimpse at some rookies making serious pushes for starting jobs, a wide receiver battle that's heating up faster than expected, and one particular defender who's quickly becoming a fan favorite for all the right reasons. Let's start where the headlines have to begin. Christian Gonzalez, the star cornerback, a player many believe could make a serious All-Pro push this year, went down during early drills and practice while locked up with none other than Stefon Diggs. It was a competitive rep step for step when Gonzalez suddenly grabbed at the back of his left leg. The entire practice field went quiet for a moment as he signaled to the sideline and immediately called for trainers. That's never a good sign. Now the silver lining, he walked off under his own power, which is massive. He didn't collapse, didn't need to be carried, but something was clearly wrong. The initial concern is a hamstring injury, although nothing has been officially confirmed yet. The team, as expected, is being extremely cautious. Gonzalez was taken off the field and eventually carted back to the locker room for further evaluation, and here's the hard truth: New England simply cannot afford to lose Christian Gonzalez for any extended stretch. This defense is built around him and what he can do in man coverage. Losing that piece even for a couple of weeks forces a total shift in how this unit plays. Now that injury cast a shadow over the day, no question, but football moves fast and the coaching staff, led by Vrabel, kept things rolling. The offensive line, which has been a question mark all offseason, started to take shape, and it's clear that the rookies are going to have every opportunity to earn starting spots. On the left side, Will Campbell, taken with the 4th overall pick, has been penciled in at left tackle from the moment his name was called in April, but next to him that job is very much up for grabs. Jared Wilson, a 3rd-round pick out of Georgia, stepped in as the first-team left guard during the team's full 11-on-11 work. Not just in drills, not just rotating in, he was the first man up. And let's be honest, he looked the part. Smooth in his movements, aggressive in his sets, and confident with his assignments. He's going to push Cole Strange, no doubt. Strange did take reps there as well, and he remains in the mix. But it's Wilson who seems to be grabbing early momentum. Also in the guard conversation is Caden Wallace. Yes, the same Caden Wallace who played tackle at Penn State and was expected to be a swing tackle at this level. Not anymore. He's moved inside and is clearly in the mix as a depth piece at guard. So right now you've got Strange, Wilson, and Wallace as the trio battling for that left guard job, with Wilson getting the early nod, and the rotation doesn't stop there. At right tackle, Morgan Moses started the day, but DeAndre Jacobs is breathing down his neck. The staff seems to really like what they're seeing from Jacobs, and if Moses, a veteran presence, shows any signs of decline, that job could be up for grabs too. For now, it looks like Wallace could be the top interior backup, while Jacobs edges into the swing tackle role. It's all fluid. It's day one, but the early signs point to a youth movement on this offensive line, and that's exactly what you want if you're building around a young quarterback like Drake Maye. Speaking of Drake Maye, let's talk about one guy who's quickly becoming his favorite protector, and maybe the most talked about defender on the field, Keion White. What a day this guy had. If you didn't already have him circled on your breakout candidates list, go ahead and put him in bold. Keion White was absolutely dominant in only unknown reps. Lining up opposite rookie Will Campbell, White unleashed a pass rush clinic. He drove through blocks, knocked Campbell off his base, literally, and looked like a man on a mission. But what stood out even more was what happened when the team went into full 11-on-11. That's where you see who's really locked in, who understands spacing, who thrives in structure. And Campbell bounced back. He showed his strength, his anchor, and his ability to recover, while White kept the intensity high. That battle is going to make both of them better, no doubt about it. But Keion White isn't just turning heads with his play, it's his attitude, it's his presence. There was a viral image going around from the locker room. White wrapped in a thick blanket eye mask on, fully dialed in for a nap, with a clear message: do not disturb. It's hilarious, sure, but it speaks to how much time he's spending at the facility, getting his body right, getting mentally prepared, and treating this like more than a job. He's living it, and when he speaks, he sounds just like his head coach. I don't want the offense to get 1 yard. The standard should be negative yards every play. That's not just words, That's a mindset. And when asked about potential and hype, his answer was even more telling. I don't really care about potential. I care about what you do. We haven't done anything yet, therefore we aren't anything yet. That's the kind of voice that builds a locker room, that holds people accountable. And that sets the tone for what this defense can become. Mike Vrabel is loving it. Patriots fans should too. Now let's pivot to the wide receiver room, which is as always one of the juiciest spots on the Patriots roster. This group is deep, it's competitive, and it's absolutely up for grabs beyond the top few names. Stefon Diggs, Pop Douglas, and Kyle Williams are your locks. Mac Hollins would be number 4, but he's currently on the physically unable to perform list, which leaves the door open for someone to sneak in. And right now that someone might be Jalen Polk. Yes, Jalen Polk. A second-round pick last year who had a brutal rookie campaign and then missed the first 3 practices of this year's training camp. Things were not trending well. It looked like a classic case of bust in the making. But then padded practice started and something changed. Polk came alive. He was flying around playing with urgency and even hauled in a touchdown pass from Drake May. One good practice doesn't erase a year of struggles, but it can start to shift momentum. And in a room where you're fighting for the 6th, maybe 7th, spot, that kind of splash matters. Kendrick Bourne, the veteran, is also in the mix. He's done everything right, said everything right, even trained with May early in the offseason. But here's the reality: Bourne may have hit his ceiling. Polk has more upside, more explosion, more growth potential. And if the staff believes they can mold him into something special, that spot might go to the younger player. It's tough, it's competitive, and it's the kind of decision that franchises make all the time. Then there's Javon Baker and Finn Chisholm, both on the outside looking in, but both with paths to the roster. Baker is talented but inconsistent. He needs to stack practices, plain and simple. Chisholm, the undrafted rookie, is electric. Whether he's running routes, returning kicks, or just bringing energy, he pops off the screen. If the coaching staff finds a role for him, maybe in the slot, maybe as a gadget guy, he's got a real shot. But again, there are only so many spots, and if Hollins comes off the PUP list healthy, things get even tighter. That's where we stand after day 1 in pads. A roller coaster start for the New England Patriots in 2025. A major injury scare, an offensive line youth movement, a defensive stud making noise, and a wide receiver room that's got more intrigue than ever. This team is still taking shape, and there's a long way to go. But one thing is clear: Mike Vrabel's fingerprints are all over this roster. It's physical, it's competitive, and it's not here for moral victories. While the Patriots navigate the uncertain status of Christian Gonzalez, all eyes now turn to how the defense adjusts without its lockdown corner. And if there's one thing this New England team has learned under Mike Vrabel's early leadership, it's how to keep moving forward, no matter who's on the field. The depth in the secondary will be stress-tested and fast. Jonathan Jones steps in as the likely leader in Gonzalez's absence. But make no mistake, that's a big drop-off in terms of pure athleticism and coverage ability. Marcus Jones and Shaun Wade will likely get extended looks in practice. And this could be a golden opportunity for one of the younger defensive backs to make a name for himself. Remember, this is the same franchise that turned latter-round picks into defensive stalwarts in the past, and if there's a chance for someone to rise, it's going to be in this high-intensity Vrabel camp. As we wait for more information on Gonzalez, the coaching staff seems to be taking the approach of next man up, which has always been part of the Patriot DNA. The culture being built here isn't about waiting for stars to rescue you. It's about doing your job, playing your role, and making sure there's no drop in intensity. That's why someone like Keion White becomes even more important. He's not just wrecking plays on the edge, he's setting a tone. His fire, his mentality, and the way he's holding others accountable is infectious. When the top cornerback goes down and the locker room is watching how the team responds, it's voices like White's that carry weight. Vrabel's fingerprints aren't just on the defense, though. They're all over the offense too, especially in how this team is building around Drake May. The coaching staff is giving him reps, trust, and space to grow, but not without challenge. May's arm talent has been on display. He's making tight window throws, reading defenses quickly, and showing command in the huddle. But what stands out more than the physical tools is how May is responding to pressure. He's not rattled, he's not forcing throws, he's learning, and he's earning the respect of veterans and rookies alike. You hear it in how Kendrick Bourne talks about him, how defenders are challenging him without trying to embarrass him, and how the coaching staff is treating him like the franchise guy. Because he is. One moment that really stood out during the first padded session was a 3-minute drill. where MAYE was tasked with moving the ball down the field against the first-team defense. It wasn't perfect. He took a sack, missed a read, but then bounced back with a perfectly timed deep out. That hit Pop Douglas in stride, setting up a red zone chance. That's what you want to see in a young quarterback, not perfection but growth, the ability to shake off mistakes and come back stronger. And Pop Douglas, by the way, continues to look like one of the most reliable targets on this team. He's quick, crafty, and always finds space. If MAYE and Douglas can build chemistry, that's a connection that could become a real problem for opposing defenses. Another player who's quietly becoming more involved in the offense is tight end Jaheim Bell. The Patriots haven't had a true mismatched tight end since peak Rob Gronkowski. And while Bell is not that, he does bring a different kind of weaponry. He's fast, moves like a wide receiver, and is showing that he can stretch the field from the seam. Bell had multiple catches during team periods and even hauled in a contested pass over the middle. That drew a big reaction from the offensive sideline. Keep an eye on how the Patriots use him, especially in two tight end sets where they can mix run and pass looks out of the same formation. And speaking of formations, there's a growing buzz around the creativity of new offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt. He's been mixing in motion heavy looks, stacking receivers in bunch formations, and even experimenting with pistol formations to keep defenses guessing. This isn't the static vanilla offense that frustrated Patriots fans over the last couple of years. This is a unit that wants to dictate terms, not react to them. And that's where MAYE's skill set really shines. He's comfortable on the move, has a quick release, and seems to thrive when the structure breaks down. That gives Van Pelt a ton of flexibility in designing plays around his strengths. Now back to the trenches, because if the Patriots are going to be a playoff contender this year, it's going to start up front. We talked earlier about the rookies on the offensive line, but day one also revealed just how nasty this defensive front can be. Christian Barmore was nearly unblockable during the final team period. He's quicker than ever and has added power to his frame. When Barmore and Keon White are lined up next to each other, it creates havoc. Plain and simple. Offensive lines are forced to double one, which frees up the other. And with Matthew Judon still rehabbing and not yet in full go mode, this front seven is already flashing elite potential. Once Judon is back in the fold, it could be scary for opposing quarterbacks. One player who deserves a bit more spotlight is linebacker Mart Mapu. After a rookie season that had its ups and downs, Mapu is starting to look like a guy who's ready to take on a bigger role. He's playing faster, thinking less, and showing real instincts against both the run and the pass. In one sequence during red zone work, he sniffed out a screen, broke on the ball, and nearly came away with a pick six. That kind of recognition doesn't happen by accident. It's film study, preparation, and confidence, and Mapu is starting to put it all together. Defensive backs coach Brian Belichick, who remains part of the revamped staff under Vrabel, has been seen working overtime with the safeties and corners, especially in Gonzalez's absence. The attention to detail is high. Communication pre-snap has been emphasized, with safeties like Kyle Duggar taking on more responsibility to get everyone lined up. That veteran presence is crucial, especially with so many young players being thrown into key roles, and Duggar, to his credit, looks sharp. His angles are crisp, his reads are quick, and he seems to be embracing the leadership role left behind by the departure of Devin McCourty. Special teams also got a bit of shine during the session, particularly with rookie kicker Harrison Mavis. After a shaky start to his NFL journey during rookie minicamp, Mavis came out firing. He went 6-for-6 on field goals during special teams, including a booming 50-twerter that got the entire sideline fired up. It's no secret that Patriots fans have been begging for stability at the kicker position, and if Mavis can continue to show this kind of consistency, he may finally bring peace of mind to a role that's been anything but steady since Steven Gostkowski left town. Return duties are also being sorted out, and here's where Chisholm might just carve his spot. During punt return drills, he looked explosive. Clean catches, quick acceleration, and good decision-making. If he can become a weapon in the return game, that gives him one more edge in the battle for a roster spot. And with Vrabel placing a strong emphasis on special teams, one of his own calling cards from his playing days, contributions in that phase of the game might carry even more weight than usual. Inside the locker room, the atmosphere is different. Players are buying in. You hear it in interviews, you see it in how guys are holding each other accountable. The weight room is full early. Players are staying late for film, and perhaps most importantly, there's a sense that this team is finally beginning to build an identity. Tough, physical, and unified. Mike Vrabel is not here for a rebuild. He's here to compete. And he's making that clear with every padded practice, every rep, and every decision. The next big moment comes Friday when the Patriots hold their first scrimmage of training camp. Fans will be in attendance, the lights will be a little brighter, and the intensity will be a little higher. For young players trying to make the roster, that's the first real test. Who shows up under pressure, who fades into the background, and for veterans, it's a reminder that nothing is guaranteed. This is a team building from the ground up with new leadership, and every spot has to be earned. Jalen Polk, for example, has a chance to follow up his strong practice with another solid showing. If he can stack 2 or 3 good days, he might cement his place in that wide receiver group. Jared Wilson will look to build on his early momentum at guard, especially as the competition with Cole Strange heats up and Keion White, already the camp darling, can continue to make his case as the most dominant defensive player on the field. But there will also be questions. Will Christian Gonzalez be back sooner than feared? How do the young corners hold up in his absence? Can Drake May continue to grow without forcing throws or developing bad habits? And can this coaching staff keep the energy high while tightening up the execution? Those are the storylines we're watching. And after one day in pads, it's safe to say the 2025 New England Patriots are not going to be boring. They might be young, they might be raw, but they are intense, competitive, and clearly moving in a direction that fans can believe in. The Vrabel era is here, and it's already making noise. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Rumors are swirling around the New England Patriots locker room as wide receiver Stefon Diggs reportedly demands full control over the team's offense, refusing to share leadership with fellow standout receiver MAYE. Insiders suggest that Diggs, known for his fierce competitiveness and vocal presence, is pushing for a dominant role that could reshape the Patriots' attacking strategy. This possible power struggle comes at a critical moment for the franchise, which is eager to regain its status as an offensive powerhouse. Diggs, who joined the Patriots with high expectations, seems determined to assert himself as the undisputed leader of the receiving corps. Sources close to the situation say Diggs is not willing to compromise or split the spotlight, hinting at potential tension with MAYE, who has also made significant strides and earned respect from teammates and coaches alike. While the Patriots coaching staff traditionally values a collaborative approach, the idea of Diggs having total command over the offense signals a dramatic shift in team dynamics. Some insiders speculate this move might aim to capitalize on Diggs' skill set and leadership qualities, positioning him as the primary weapon in the Patriots' aerial attack. However, questions remain about how this demand will affect team chemistry and the morale of other key players. Fans and analysts are watching closely as this developing story unfolds, with many wondering if the Patriots will accommodate Diggs' wishes or find a way to balance the talents and ambitions of both receivers. The possibility of a heated internal battle over offensive control raises the stakes for New England's upcoming season, potentially impacting their game plans and overall success. As whispers continue to circulate, one thing is clear: Stefon Diggs is not content with being just another contributor.